The point of being a broker is to be a hunter, to be a gatherer, to build something that's longer than just 30 days.
You're taking new people off the street and you're teaching them, you're training them, you're helping them. And it's a lot of work to be able to kind of do that.
I think that's what led in the mortgage journey. 25 closings, 30, 40, 50. Then I went 14 months straight with 50 to 60 closings a month, which, is over 600 closings in a year. What up, my man, Dan? How's it going?
Good. Things are good. No complaints. Friday. I'm excited to actually ask you some questions and really kind of pick the mind of one of the baddest originators out there. I want to kick it off. Just first off, thank you for all your help here at West Capital Lending. I think you've been a tremendous addition to our training, our development. The Academy has just been a wealth of knowledge to, I think, a lot of people that are really looking for help. So we started this journey a couple years ago now, and we're kind of finally here. And I just want to ask you a couple questions. Really, let's take it way back, right? You're a new banker at Rocket Mortgage or Quicken Loans back then. Give me a little bit of your journey. This is obviously you went from selling cell phone cases to getting into the mortgage industry to selling loans to then being a director, being a senior director, leading teams, growing your team to then building a training academy. So take it way back for me. Give me kind of like, what was your experience joining Rocket and learning, just getting into mortgage banking for the first time?
Yeah, well, prior to Rocket, I had 10 years experience in the distribution business, which was business to business, bulletproof glass to bulletproof glass. I think that's important because that's where I built a lot of the tough skin. If people think it's hard to get yelled at on the phone or hung up on the phone, we'll try knocking on a bulletproof glass and asking somebody to open the door for you to come in the back when they got their shotgun back there at a gas station or a liquor store to some of the toughest nationalities. So built that business from scratch, going gas station to gas station, liquor store to liquor store, going from 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10, 10 to 40, and state to state, and then, country to country. We took it worldwide. And in this business, I learned a lot of the sales, because once I had 50, 60 accounts and I couldn't handle it, I had to hire a driver, which is similar to the broker model now that I know it, because once your business gets busy enough, you hire a LOA, and then, you might hire a team member because duplicate your process. So it was kind of the same exact thing in the accessory business. Build enough accounts. So build a good pipeline, as they say, of locations that you service, then hire a driver to service those locations, build the next area, enough locations, and hire a driver to service. And then drivers became sales managers and regional managers. And that's where a lot of the sales training came into play. I had to teach these people how to have a tough mind, face-to-face sales, which is a lot tougher. So 10 years built that business and sold it. And I went over to Quicken Loans, which a lot of people, probably like you and a lot of other people out there, there's a lot of money in the mortgage industry. I was running a business that was high stress, dealing with, drivers in multiple locations, giving them Mercedes-Benz Sprinter trucks and $100,000 of inventory in a storage, and then counting inventory, and people having theft issues, and you don't know if they're lying or if the iPad was wrong, or so just a lot of stress building that business. And I said, I'm not making as much money as people are making in the mortgage industry. And that was like an aha moment. I'm like, if these people are not even that good at sales and they're making this much money, and I'm stressing my ass off in this business, trying to keep the lights on here and keep these people happy, and I'm barely pulling 100 grand. I'm like, there has to be something there. So I sold the business and went to Quicken Loans, not knowing a single thing about mortgages, was very scared to get into it because, technology and guidelines, all that stuff kind of weirded me out. It still weirds me out till today, but, I'm dealing with it. But anyhow, when I went in there, the first month, I just had that electric month where I just connected with people. And then I realized, okay, so those 10 years weren't a waste. Those 10 years was actually building relationships with people and talking to different nationalities and people in different states. And it's the same exact thing, but now I'm doing it on the phone. But the only thing that's better is I'm not selling a cell phone charger. I'm selling a house, or I'm selling cash. And I'm like, there's nothing better than you could sell than real estate or cash in your hand. So I think it's a trifecta of sales. So I love that, man, because look, I come from a challenging upbringing, like my family was part of the crash. We short sold our house. We had to rent our house. So I didn't know what was going on back there. I just know that we lost our house. We dealt with difficult times. We had a lot of debts. We had bankruptcies in my family. Like there was a lot of things that happened. So understanding that, I think I was able to have a human connection and a bond because I truly care about people and care about what they're going through, specifically right now in these tough and crazy times. So I think that's what led in the mortgage journey, 25 closings, 30, 40, 50. Then I went 14 months straight with 50 to 60 closings a month, which, is over 600 closings in a year. And that was like a power banker. And people at Quicken Loans that were President's Club bankers and Triple Crown bankers that have been there for 8 years, they said, what the hell's this guy on? What is he doing? I wasn't on anything but, just understanding the opportunity and building human connections and pretending that I was sent from above to help people. And that's how I treated the job. And sure, I messed up a lot. And sometimes I sold the wrong program, or sometimes I would say the wrong thing, but the bond was so strong that it didn't matter because I was trying to do what was right for the client. So all that other stuff I learned as time went on. And that's how my journey started at Rocket, and then became a leader at Rocket. And I was obsessed, I was obsessed because, even in your company, man, like I'm sure, the struggles of a business owner it's always, what's the next resource for your people? Like, oh, we have this, but we want this. Oh, we want that, but we want Salesforce. We want Salesforce. We want Five9. We want that. And we want that. And like, you always want the next thing. And then you're investing in the next thing. Then your people want the next thing. So like, I knew how that feels as a business owner, and going to a place like Rocket or even West Capital now, like I truly appreciate when there's resources being handed to you. And I know how valuable every resource is. So I think that was my strength as a leader at Rocket, is that everybody was getting all these resources and it was kind of like overwhelming. Like you give people all of these things and they're like, well, it's too much. So let me not just do anything. Right? That's usually the common response that you get. And to me, it's like, wow, let me learn this and let me leverage that. And I could use a little bit of that, use a little bit of this. So I was kind of plugging in all the resources and using them. And I was a guy as a leader using 90% of the resources, like even the meditation bus. I had my team on the meditation bus once a week, and that helped my team. The Chicago Bulls used to meditate before games. Like they had something. Phil Jackson had something going for him. So like even small things like that. So I took advantage of all these resources. I became obsessed with leadership and, built this team culture so strong that my team turned into almost 40, 50 people at one point. We started combining other struggling leaders with my team for 60 days to kind of boot camp them. And that's when like the whole boot camp and onboarding started. I started training bankers and leaders.
Yeah. Talk to me about that. Cause I know, it's one thing to kind of reach that level, right? Now you're running a team, but to almost get tapped in to be able to say, hey, like this team is struggling or this banker is struggling, like let's get Ace. I mean, to come in and be able to help train. I mean, you built up a reputation around being the guy to, who's going to really, step up and help this person get out of their slump, get to the next level. I'll be honest, that's not my skill set, right? Like, I don't know, I'll do my best to be able to engage with someone and help them, but I just feel like that's a passion of yours, and it's obviously, turned into the academy. But just tell me about that. What are some of your strategies? Because now you're opening up your own brokerage, right? Like you're taking new people off the street and you're teaching them, you're training them, you're helping them. And it's a lot of work to be able to kind of do that. So just talk to me about what that process looks like from someone new to how you're going to get them to be a top banker.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I'll give you 3 things that come to my mind. Number 1, make it easy. Number 2, make it fun. Number 3, know their why and drive them with their why. All right. And I'll give you an example of this. Yesterday, I met with a company that has about 100 realtors there, traditional realtors, been in the market a long time, or, a bunch of new kids on the block that are joining. And this owner's telling me, like, I train them. I do trainings every single day, and I give them this and I give them that. But then after the training, they don't do anything, right? And I said, well, your first problem is you're training them and you're expecting them to do something. I said, you almost have to take any work out of the equation. Right. And he said, what do you mean by that? I said, look, here's what I mean by that. I said, I will create the plays for them. Here's the training. But what happens after the training? So I believe every single action that you want to apply to your business or to an individual has to have 5 or 6 legs attached to it. Meaning if I want everybody in your company, for example, to start outreaching realtors, then I would do a Realtor Monday, where on every single Monday, I'll send out like 3 different templates you could use to attack realtors. One of them is for something where there's something important to a realtor. I'll have a spot for you in the email, text, and voicemail to plug in the important thing and how you could solve for it. A template for what's missing for the realtor. Let's say you have a great realtor out there, but they're missing a good social media brand. What if you could show up and give them a social media brand in the missing campaign? Or just committing to a realtor and just sending a realtor a commitment of, hey, here's my commitment to you. I could say that and nobody will do it. But then if I send 3 templates for it, I say, here's the work already done. Plug it in. Here's a list of all the realtors under your name. Here's a forward message to them. Plug these in and do it. It's already done for you. Okay, well, I made it a little easier, but it's still not done then. Then I have to make a contest that month for whoever gets the most realtor wins. Then every single Monday, I have to send an email and whoever gets the most realtor wins. Then every single Wednesday, I'll send a voicemail. Hey, did you see what Danny did with his realtor wins on Monday? Here's his story. Then every single Friday, I'll have a team member from my inner circle send out a message to the team's chat with what they're doing with their realtor blast. So it's almost like you got to suffocate their minds and like, this is not going away and it's going to keep coming. And then if you keep that realtor thing going, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, now it's a thing in your company. What I told them was nobody keeps it going and stays consistent, which is why it falls apart. So we made it easy. We made it fun and made a contest with it. The winner gets a listing to $1 million open house as our main realtor from our company. And we're going to record the whole thing and make them a cool video. So now you made it fun. You made it easy. And at the same time, when you know your people, you drive them to their why and their purpose, which, typically comes first. So that's what I did. I talked to people. What are you struggling with? What are you here for? Where do you want to be? And then I showed them how to use their personality to get there and made it fun for them while they understand it, and then made it easy for them to execute. So I think those are 3 common things that I do when I was a banker, when I was a leader in banking, when I was consulting, and now in the broker model as well.
Well, I think just like anything, right? Consistency, right? Putting a focus on that and then just driving the message home over and over again until everyone's kind of, singing the same tune.
There's one more thing I'll add to that. I'm in the trenches, man. I'm getting bloody. Like it's one thing to say, hey, I got your back, man. And I'm like, hey, Danny, these guys, are about to jump me. You're like, yeah, just, take care of it. Let me know what happens. I'm a little busy right now. Or it's another thing if Danny takes off his shirt, gets in the middle and starts getting pounded on for me. I'm like, damn, Danny's all bloody. Like now I'm going to go through a wall for you because you showed me that you'll get your hands dirty for me. And like, if I could count how many times I snatched a headset off somebody's head, it's probably, it's probably in like the 20,000s, right? Like I snatched so many headsets. I've pitched deals on microphones. Like somebody's sick and I write them 2 deals while they're sick, like stuff like that. I've always done for people. So it's like, all right, you're making it easy. You're also figuring out my why and my purpose. And then you're making it fun, but then also you're getting your hands dirty and doing it for me and giving me the success on a platter. At that point, it's like for them to walk away from that or disrespect that or not appreciate that, it's almost doesn't exist. It'd be like, you'd have to be a very cruel human for me to put 130% into this for you and you not to reciprocate anything back to me.
I think just it's a general level of like respect, right? Respect is earned. It's not just given, it's earned, right? And they see, you're not the guy, just a keyboard warrior saying, say this, do this and that. Like you're willing to actually put it into action, get on the phone with the client, overcome objections, close the deal, whatever it may be. And I think that not every leader is willing to be able to do that, right? And so I always respected, my leaders, the ones that would really get on the phones and show and, talk about what they're not just talk about what they're doing, but actually show me in action. And I learned a lot from that. And I respected them a lot more for the ones that actually went out and did that. So you've got 10 years of experience. You've gone into the retail model. You've gotten to production manager or director of banking, senior director of banking, now running and, having a team of 50 people. Now you've built up the ACES Academy and you've built that up to, I don't even know how many members are in the academy. Now you're taking on a new step that you've never taken before, right? Where do you think this is going to go? I mean, I've heard from you over and over again, like, I'm going to build this thing huge, right? I'm going to bring on 50 people. I'm going to bring on 100 people. I'm going to create something that's truly special. So talk to me about, where your mindset is and what are your plans with this?
I'm trying to find the right analogy or story to share here because, we're missing a step of, consulting over 38 broker shops in, the last 2 years and consulting those broker shops, anything from credit triggers to realtor referrals to your traditional walk-in credit union I've trained.
Oh, wow.
Right. So training all of these companies, including West Capital, my goal was to, train, make them better, change your culture, infuse the salespeople, which I did. There's one company that just hit, the owner texted me yesterday, said, we just had a 500 closings month. And when I started with them, they're like at 120. It's almost, 400% multiplier on where they started. And like when I walked in there in the beginning, it was all like kids in jeans and t-shirts and hoodies. And like, it looked like a high school. Now you walk in there, there's leaders in suits and there's meetings and trainings. And like, I can walk out and say, I did that. I transformed that culture. And that's a very strong feeling. So I was happy doing that. But there was one thing missing as I'm going to all these businesses. Working in retail was great. because I was at the number one company at the time, Rocket. But in the broker model, the point of being a broker is to be a hunter, to be a gatherer, right? To build something that's longer than just 30 days. And when I think about broker, I think about somebody that literally goes to war for you to really find you the best deal. Now, everybody is saying that we shop around 100 lenders and we do this and we do that, and we go to bat for you. Nobody is truly doing it the right way or all the way. And it's not saying that anybody's liable for that. It's just saying I'm looking at the broker model and all the places I've been to, and I'm like, if the broker model was a bone with meat on it, I feel like only 20% of the meat is gone. There's 80% left on that bone. And really the whole reason this started is because I want to skim that bone to the bare minimum. I want to take off all the meat of the bone and show people what the actual broker model is. When I say that, like building relationships with lenders and AEs, actually hunting for every single client. And if you can't find a home for the client, find somebody that has a home for the client, build a relationship with them, and get to a place where everybody has a home. And even if they still don't have a home, and like then build a network and a process to get them ready to have that home. And that home could be an actual physical home or the home in a sense of a loan. And then working different sources, social media, and then working lead buys, and then working with realtors, and then networking, and then making connections, like all of these, and then the automation, and then the training, and then being in the hands-on in the business, and then building leaders and building a life, like all of these things, I wasn't seeing it done and executed the way I would want to execute it. There's only so much I could do when I'm at a place. And at the same time, there's only so many capabilities a place has. So I really want to take it to that level. And then, training with West Capital and just seeing what you guys have been accomplishing month over month. This whole thing started as an experiment. We said, let me go in there and mess with the technology, originate some clients. So I learned to make the portal better. And as I did this, I said, there's so much opportunity. So I kept going deeper and deeper into things, and to a point where I said, you know what? I think I could really master this model. I think I could master it in all aspects and really take somebody from ground zero, no mortgage knowledge, to an all-star within 6 to 12 months. And I've done it time and time again. That's what the vision is. The vision is to open up a location and a virtual branch like you've never seen it before. Like when I say virtual branch, I'm ordering 100 TV screens. Every TV screen is going to have somebody's face on it on the wall. I want them to actually be in the office, even though they're virtual. And then doing what I love, training every single day. There's a full schedule of leadership and involvement. There is no way it's a bulletproof system. You can't fail because it's heavily involved with automation, with me involved in your campaigns, with me involved in your pipeline, me involved in your game film. You're constantly listening to call clips. You're constantly being trained. There is no way you could fail unless you say, I want to come here and fail. So that's really where it's at. And then building leaders, and then, VP of operations and social media team. And then like the social media thing could be a business on its own, and getting lead source. You could create your own lead source in this broker model if you really master it the right way. So seeing all of these things intrigue me. And I said, you know what? I just have to do it, master it, and then teach it. And then teach it with proof of here's what I've done. Here's my numbers,
Well, I mean, you've already accomplished a lot. I mean, just coming in and seeing how far you've come, and now taking those first steps with a couple people, and just seeing like Bailey, for example, and the motivation level, and then setting up the office. You're doing things a little bit different, and I'm excited for it. If I'm a banker and I'm in this independent model, I kind of claim that Westcap, that we're going to collaborate more, we're going to share information more, but you're taking Takers Brokerage to really to the next level. I mean, you have people all over the country, right? I mean, how do you keep them engaged? How do you motivate them? How do you inspire them? How do you answer all those questions? And how do you keep that team and that camaraderie? And you really, in my opinion, like you got to do it with like massive amount of communication, right? And engagement. And, I think I commend you for kind of taking a step back. I know that you see guys like Rami and Al and, these massive producers, right? But their involvement on their team, and it's been a challenge, is very minimal, right? So to actually take a step back and say, I'm going to create a business, under West Capital, I'm going to create Takers, and I'm going to slow down my production. I'm going to give back. I'm going to do these huddles. I'm going to create the plays. I'm going to send out the engagement. I'm going to listen to their calls. I'm going to snatch their headset. If you're newer to the business and you're getting into this side of the business as being a broker, I don't know of a single mortgage broker that's really kind of like an independent model that's paying high compensation and doing actual leads versus just credit triggers, that is taking it to the next step with that type of involvement, training, execution. So I'm excited to see really what you can accomplish with this. I know
I
it's
mean,
going to be a lot of work.
they have the Mike Tyson of mortgage banking here in their corner. I'm the guy that pictures on the wall of the guy they're working for. So like, this is where they want to be, right? And I don't say that in a cocky way or arrogant way. I just say that because the level of sacrifice I'm making for people on my team to be successful, it's well known. Everybody on my team inside of my chat right now, they're thanking me 3 times a day. I started off my day today in the office at 6:30 in the morning, going through their pipelines, giving them feedback on their messaging, giving them feedback on the time they call people, sending out plays for the day. Then I went through my pipeline, and every single message I sent, I snipped it and I sent it to the chat and I put a lesson under it. And there's about 30 of those. Then I recorded a video, recorded my screen, going through my new clients. And then I recorded it. And every time I look at the camera and I give a tip, and I'm uploading these into their portal. Like the training is just never going to stop for these guys. And like they're seeing it in all directions. And there's people that are on my team right now that you know of that have been with West Capital for a long time or been at other broker shops for a long time. And they're telling me, I've never seen nothing like this before. How somebody that's been in the industry for 15 years telling me I've never seen nothing like this before as far as leadership engagement. This is just the beginning, man. It's just the beginning.
Well, I can tell you, I've gotten text messages from them just saying, Danny, thank you for aligning me with Alex. Thank you for putting me aligned with Takers. It really is. Some people need help. It's like if you're independent and you're on an island and you don't have someone motivating and driving you and coaching you, not everyone has that just pure entrepreneur spirit to be able to self-motivate and drive them and know what steps, and they need a coach, they need a mentor, they need someone in their face every single day. And that's one of the things that we had talked about in the beginning when we did that initial training. And you got off the phone, you're like, Danny, half of your VPs, like it just didn't seem like they were really even motivated to even help their team or help the next person. And I don't want to point anyone out, but it has been a challenge, right? When you're in this model and you can focus on your personal production, helping others sometimes takes a back seat. And so I love that you're taking this approach, and I'm excited to see where this is going to go. I really am. Like everything that you've set your mind to, that you've told me you're going to accomplish, you've accomplished. From setting up the training academy, getting people involved, coaching Al Bennett, getting Al Bennett to the next level, and seeing his kind of transformation with Team the Closers.
I still see him send his weekly Herald out. And I'm like, I'm glad that I taught Al Bennett the Herald and he still uses it and he's an executor on it. And he still keeps the contest going for his team and the meetings going for his team. Like, I'm proud to say that I was a part of that transformation and that this is a habit he'll carry with him forever. And like the same exact thing, like I told you, man, once we do this, all the VPs on WestCap will have the whole system and portal and access to it to do the same exact things that I'm doing, because I want them to all come up with me. And I look at you and Eric like partners, and you guys are, real loyal guys. And I look at you like brothers, and we're going to take this whole place up. 1,800 closings last month. I guarantee you we'll hit 3,000 next year.
I already know it's going to happen. And I think just raising the bar, what's the saying, raising tide lifts all boats, right? So having top sales talent, top sales leadership, right? It's going to raise the bar for the entire company. We're 4th in the nation right now overall in funded loans out of all the mega brokers, but our average closings per banker is dramatically higher than everyone else. And I only think that that's going to increase, right? Having, branches or teams within the company, like what you're building, and knowing what is possible. People are going to look at that, right? If my neighbor is closing a deal and, it's like, it's going to motivate me. I want to close the deal, right? I don't want him just succeeding. I want to succeed, right? So if there's a team that's succeeding, well, what's Alex doing? Oh, he's training at a high level. He's engaging in doing all these different meetings, doing the Herald, doing the contest, helping out with leads, helping out with strategies, right? I feel like it's going to lift up the next person. And so I'm excited about it, and really interested to see where it's going to go. And without a tremendous amount of help from my end, right? I'm busy, Eric and I are busy. We're trying to build up and run the company, and we have all these different things that are kind of going on, but I appreciate that you're taking the initiative. You're not just waiting on me for every little thing. You're saying, okay, like, let's get the office, let's get things set up. And you're just kind of almost like updating me of like where you're going and where you're taking this. And so
Well, you said a very important key word. You said you're taking initiative. Where you're taking this. Welcome to Takers Brokerage, motherfucker. We're coming for everybody. Sean Way!
John Way, you're on notice.
Sean Way!
Hey, you got a long way to go.
You know, and that's fun, bringing that competition into those meetings. I hope he doesn't take it
No,
personal. I love you, Sean.
no.
But
He's
yeah,
got a
man,
big
I
head
mean,
start on you though, Alex. He's got
that's why I'm calling it.
65 million last month. You know, they got
That's why I'm
60
calling it
acres.
out, because January, February, March, as the takers hit 100 and then 150, then 200, and then Sean Way starts sweating and saying, damn, this guy's actually doing this. What the hell's going on? So I'm looking forward to the come up, man, because I truly believe it's October 25, 2024 right now. By October 25, 2025, takers will be well over 300, 400 closings. And I
What are
think we
some of
can.
your personal drive, your personal motivation, right? Like it's not easy. You got your wife at home, you have your son, you have, kids on the way, and you're waking up at 6:30 in the morning, you're leasing out an office, weeks away from having, bringing kids into this world, and you're still got the same hustle, drive, and motivation. So many people are like, oh, my wife's, 8 months pregnant. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have that. And then it's like they're slowing down. I feel like you're speeding up. Where does this drive? Where is this motivation coming from?
Well, I'm waking up 4 in the morning. I'm just starting work at 6, and the ice bath has been helping. But I don't know. It's kind of like, man, when you're climbing a mountain. Let's say you're climbing a mountain your whole life, and you're like 4 steps away from the top. Like, what the could you do? You can't look back down now. You know what I mean? I feel like that's an accumulation of my life. Like my whole life, I've been sticking the fork in the next spot and going up, and now it's like I could almost touch the top. So it's like there is no stopping that. You know what I mean? Like at this point, it's like you're all in, you're a few steps away. This broker model and proving it to the world once again that it is about leadership, it is about sales, it is about involvement, it is about true culture, it is about care, it is about being about it and not just talking about it, right? And doing this at a high level for the broker world, and then launching, mastering the mortgage course, launching the new mortgage book coming out next year. I want stages. I want to impact the world in a positive light, and I want to leave everybody off better than where they started. And the vision and the impact is a lot bigger than me. And we're very close, man. So that's all I could say is, if you've been fighting your whole life for something and you're finally steps away, there is no waking up and saying like, I don't feel like doing this today, or somebody's, this is going on or that's going on, or there's no time to get in a slump now, man. It's too late for that. So we're all the way in and we're vested. And this is the year we got to go the hardest, man. So that's where we're at. It's everything. And my whole life came to this moment. It's the 12th round.
Well, I'm excited for you, Alex. Appreciate all your help and involvement with everything that we've done at West Capital Lending.
Yeah, I
And,
appreciate you for being one of my
you
first
know,
supporters.
let's see where this thing goes. And if anything else I can do to help, I'm rooting for you. And I'm here to support too. We've gained a lot of scale, and name recognition. And, with that comes more people looking at us and looking at you and what we're doing that's different than other people. And that creates momentum, that creates an energy, that creates an enthusiasm that people are really, wanting to be a part of. So I think there's a lot of synergy between what you're creating and then what we've already built, that I think is going to be a powerful equation. We have 15 to 20 people every 2 weeks that are onboarding with us, that are saying, hey, I saw you guys on social. I saw that Alex is with you. I saw that Min's with you. I saw that the Mortgage Kitchen. I saw Al Bennett on social. I saw Rami, made 200 and something thousand dollars last month. So I think there's pillars of successful people that others are looking at and are wanting to be a part of, right? And they're saying, how do I become part of this company? How do I become part of Takers? How do I work with Alex? How do I work with Danny? How do I want to be part of this? And so it's almost like it's a movement, and it's like a snowball that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I'm excited because I know that you have the passion and drive to actually execute. There's a lot of people that have, a dream and a vision, and they're not willing to take the chance to bank on themselves to be able to kind of do it. It's not easy. You can have a dream, but actually executing on that dream and actually seeing it into fruition is a completely different story. And I know that that's one thing that you're not willing to do, is just be a dreamer. You're gonna dream, and you're gonna execute, and you're gonna achieve that dream. So I appreciate all your hard work and excited to see where this is going to go.
100%, man. I appreciate you and all your support so far. And yeah, it'll be exciting to see a podcast like this next year and where West Capital is and where Taker Brokerage is.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome, man. All right. Thanks a lot for your time, man.
Thank you.